Hello everyone, thank you very much for tuning in again. It's William Bonney, the weekly podcast. I've given it a little bit of had to give it a little bit of space in between the last interview I did and doing this. I needed to unbox that a little bit. It was, if anyone who's listened to that last interview I did, the second one or third one now, with the rape survivor, that was some of the most intense recording I've done, and it really did take a whole chunk out of me. And I just got to thank my wife for being brave enough to do that conversation again, and just, I hope that if anybody is going through a situation where they need to talk to somebody, then they just know that there's all the avenues out there to do so. So, moving on, looking forward. I'm recording this actually first thing Tuesday morning. I was supposed to have done it over the weekend, but I've just had one of those weekends where it's everything's just been, that life has just been beating me up a little bit at the minute. So it's difficult. I think some of my problem is that I spent so much time in prison being told what to do, that as soon as I get some free time, I really struggle with motivation and the ability to stay focused sometimes. So I've had a bit of a bad week, as in, at the moment, I work for an agency, and that agency found me work at a laundry. People have joked saying it's a bit like a prison laundry. It's 11 hours a day, 4 days a week. It pays the bills. It's nothing glamorous by any means, but what it does is it gives me, the ability to pay my bills and to not worry about anything else that's happening. But it is dead end work, and also it's very touristy, because the laundry we deal with on the most part is from holiday parks, from hotels, from that sort of thing. So now we're getting into winter, the tourist season's starting to drop off, and there's going to be less and less work in this laundry for me. So on Friday, just before lunchtime, I got a message from the agency saying that there's no more work next week. And so I quickly messaged them back saying, okay, you're an agency, have you got any other jobs in the area? And they messaged back saying no. So on Friday lunchtime, I found out that Monday morning I was going to be out of work pretty quickly. And again, anybody who's been listening knows that work is one of those things that, I've struggled with a little bit. Obviously, coming out of prison, it's not always easy. I did work in sales before, but I found myself just getting too battered by the targets and the pressure and everything else that goes with it. So I moved into a bit of a manual labour job, something I don't have to think about, and something that I can just sort of plug into and just sit there for the day and work and graft. And I've been enjoying it in a sort of sadistic way. I've lost some weight, and it's like I say, I can just put a podcast on my headphones and just switch off really. But like I say, on Friday I found out that it was all coming to a crashing end. Now immediately the little bitch in me wanted to just stamp my feet and kind of leave. So I was like, who the fuck tells someone at lunchtime on Friday that they're jobless on Monday? So I texted the agency back and just told them I'm leaving now. Then I've got to go and find work. And immediately, as soon as I thought about just leaving, I was like, this weight of relief just kind of came off me, and I just felt so much better. So I went and told the manager. I said, look, I've got to go and try and find a job. I'm going to have to leave at lunchtime. And as soon as I said to him that I'm going to have to leave, he kind of looked at me with a pained expression on his face and was just like, oh shit, we need to try and find you something to do then. So he went off and spoke to the HR person. And the HR lady came back and found me after lunch, and she said that they're going to take me on, rather than just sort of paying me through the agency. They're going to take me on as a proper employee of the laundry. Now that's good. That's good in a way, because it now means that I've got work again. I can pay my bills, because I was about to hit a cliff edge, of money running out, because I'm being paid weekly, and so by next Friday I would have run out of money completely, and that's just something that I couldn't allow to happen. So it was probably the best situation all round, really, that they offered me a job, and I was able to pay my bills. But I need to get out of there. I need to either retrain. I've had advice that I should go self-employed. A lot of my work has been, before, between 18 and 28, I was a criminal and a drug addict. And now, between 28 and 38, I worked in sales, telephone sales. And now, obviously, I'm trying to do something different with those two rucksacks on. I spent half my life as a criminal, half my life as a salesman, and now I want to do something different, just approaching 40. And I'm finding it just a little tricky. So that's something I'm going to be looking at as well. Now, anybody who was listening last week knows that what we did is we emailed the Prince's Trust. Not the Prince's Trust, sorry. We emailed the Prison Reform Trust to say to them that I would like to give back, and I'd like to see what help I can give. And do they know anything? Can they steer me in the direction of doing anything? And I got an email back, actually. I didn't know what I'd expect. I didn't know what was gonna occur. So I'll just read it out to you. Hi Bonney, thanks for getting in touch with us. For you to speak to your experience would be invaluable for others. If you could type, that would help. I wonder if user voice would be good for you. And he gave me their contact details. There are many other voluntary organisations working nationally in the criminal justice system with opportunities for you to get involved. You can find what vacancies and volunteering opportunities are currently available by visiting the jobs board at Clinks. So clinks.org is a good one. So the first one they offered was uservoice.org. This one is clinks.org. Our paid or voluntary opportunities are featured on our website and our newsletter, shared through social media. So they give me a bunch of other things, bunch of other ways. So they got the newsletter, the prisonreformtrust.org. They got Twitter, PRTUK, Facebook, Prison Reform Trust, and LinkedIn, Prison Reform Trust. I hope you find somewhere to offer your insights and get stuck. Feel free to get back to me. Best wishes, Zoe. So yeah, that was quite positive actually. So that's given me a couple of things I can get in contact with them over about giving back. So that is something I'm definitely going to do. So I'm actually recording this because I woke up too early this morning. I normally get up at 6 to go to work, and I've just realised that I got up at 5 today. So I managed to get up an hour earlier than I should have done. So I just thought I'd record this podcast. Now, one of the big things that happens with me, because I work a 4-day week, so Tuesday morning is my Monday morning. And one of the things that I've found really is I always end up with these kind of what they call like Tuesday morning blues. Other people may see it, if I had to go to work Monday, I get these Monday morning blues. Whereas what happens is I sit there and I just think I've lounged around all weekend. I haven't done enough. I've recuperated and I've recovered within myself. I'm fit and ready to go to work again. I've done all the housework I needed to do. But unfortunately, like in my life and in progression, I don't feel like I've got anywhere. So I always end up beating myself up. Monday morning, Tuesday morning sort of thing. And I just think, there's so much more I could have done. Before I started working at the laundry, I used to be really motivated, going out running every day, going to the gym all the time. But with it being such a physical job, I haven't been to the gym. I've been there nearly 3 months. I haven't been to the gym once in the last 3 months. Like I say, I lost a bit of weight, but I'm obviously losing all my muscle definition and things as well. Probably losing some of that fitness. But the thing is because I work so hard that I justify sitting around doing nothing over the weekend because I work so hard during the week. But what the problem is like I say, I'm finding myself now just being a bit filled with regret, and not doing anything. So we're gonna nail down some goals, and we're going to use this podcast as a bit of a way of getting myself back on track again and pushing forward. So you guys can do this with me if you wish. What we're going to do is we're going to nail down what it is that holds me back, and we're going to try and avoid that like the plague, and we're going to move forward with positive steps. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my experience from prison because this is what I've got to fall back on. So we're going to use a nailed-on routine to, excuse me, we're going to use a nailed-in routine to help me structure my day because prison is all about routine. Like I say, you've got this nailed-in routine from 8 o'clock in the morning till 8 o'clock at night. You don't have to think about it. You don't have to do anything. You just have to turn up. All right. So what I'm going to give myself for my 3 days off is a nailed-in routine that I can't deviate from. So every hour, every 2 hours, something like that, I'm going to be doing something different. And I'm going to give myself a beasting if I don't do it. And that hopefully should help me stop having so much downtime at the weekend, stop lazing around, watching films, sleeping, and eating. Eating is one of the things I've found myself just eating so much lately. Comfort food is a real motherfucker. All right, so we're going to eat well this week, and we're going to structure our day. We're going to exercise. I'm going to make sure I starting my day with exercise again on my 3 days off. Getting out there and just doing at least a mile, half an hour, 20 minutes, something like that. I tend to go for 4 miles, so I'm going to start exercising my way out of my slump again, get the nuts and bolts back in order again, and see if we can get my little pathetic life back on track again. All right, so I think that's the first steps we're going to make. All right, I need to retrain. That's one of the things that I need to do also. So next week, once I've got the nuts and bolts sorted, we're going to have a look at how I can retrain, get some extra skills under my belt, and see if we can get ourselves out of these bottom rail jobs that require all of my time, all of my effort, and only pay me week to week. All right, so we're going to start seeing how we can thicken that revenue stream up a little bit legally, because that was one of the weird things that happened at the weekend when I realised I could lose my job. Is again, my brain is so set, as in don't worry, there's plenty of ways you can make money, is what my mind always goes back to. But obviously I have to kick and scream and push against that. All right, so don't worry, I'm not going to go back to crime, but that's just still how my brain's set up a little bit. Okay, so enough whining about me. What I'm going to do also is, like I say, part of this podcast is just going to have a quick look at what's going on in the world, things that have caught my eye, and it will get better, I promise you. I'll actually put some effort into fucking looking at things before I start recording. All right, so this week in the news, news of true crime, we've got Prince Andrew. The Met Police are taking no further action after reviewing sexual assault claims against the Duke of York. Obviously, he's the Queen's son. Very shady character. Used to be the trade envoy, the trade minister or whatever he was. Not a minister, but a trade ambassador for the UK. So basically flying around, having parties, boning kids. The force has assessed a document released in August 2021 as part of Virginia Giuffre's US lawsuit against the Duke of York, as well as allegations that the British socialite Ghislaine Maxwell, Jeffrey Epstein's former girlfriend, trafficked, groomed and abused women and girls in the UK. Alright, so this is the Met Police, the police in London, basically saying they're not going to take any further action against Prince Andrew, which they've basically said the whole way through. The force has assessed a document released in August 2021 as part of Virginia Giuffre's US lawsuit against the Duke of York. Miss Giuffre is suing him for alleged sexual assault when she was a teenager, allegations which he denies. She claims she was forced to have sex with Prince Andrew in London 2001 after being trafficked to the UK by the Duke's former friend Jeffrey Epstein. She was 17 years old at the time, a minor in US law. The Metropolitan Police Commissioner Dame Crescenda Dick was asked about the lawsuit in August, and she said that she'd instructed officers to again review the allegations connected to Epstein, who died in prison in 2019 while facing charges for sex trafficking. Now, Epstein dying in prison was such a weird old scenario, because he was supposed to be on suicide watch. He'd possibly attempted suicide a few days before. They put him in a cell with an ex-policeman, a corrupt policeman, who was also a bodybuilding gorilla. He looked like some sort of, when you see the Bond films and things, and then he ends up in a room with a big meathead thug, and you just think, ugh, this is only going to go one way. That's exactly what this dude's cellmate looked like. So there's the potential there for this obviously corrupt cop, who is also a meathead caveman, thug. I reckon he's been paid off to smoke this Epstein, and even they all said that Epstein killed himself, but I think there was even what do they call it, an autopsy guy, who said that the way that this has been done doesn't look like it's been suicide at all. Looks like he's been strangled or had a broken neck. But obviously he died, escaped justice. Looks like Prince Andrew's going to escape justice as well. But that led me on to a dude who was very similar to Epstein. So you might think that Epstein living out on an island, flying celebrities out there, getting young girls out there to obviously try and blackmail these celebrities and things. And it led on to another guy that I heard about, a guy called Peter Nygaard, who's a very similar character to Epstein. The fashion executive Peter Nygaard has clashed for years with his neighbour in the Bahamas, the billionaire Louis Bacon. The latest development is a lawsuit saying that Nygaard sexually exploited teenage girls. Now, what's happened here? This dude lives out in the Bahamas. He hasn't got his own island like Epstein had. He's got neighbours, a couple of neighbours living on this Bahamian island, and the road he needs to get to his fucking, his rape palace, goes through somebody else's land. So, this dude's having his, having his way, having his little Epstein life, and he falls out with his neighbour over the driveway. And then suddenly the neighbour's scope falls on him, because you know how petty people are. As soon as, even though they're billionaires, they both fall out over this driveway. And that puts a spotlight on the nonce guy. And the other billionaire starts to realise what's going on and reports him to the police. Now, this is some of the worst cases of rape and things you can. So again, he's a fashion billionaire, so he's getting young girls down there, saying he's going to sort them out with this and that. He's exploiting these young girls. He's using his money to stop any investigations into him. Any time that anybody tries to say anything, they're being hit with these big lawsuits, and it's all just very difficult to try and nail this guy down. Until, like I say, he falls out over a driveway with someone else just as powerful as him. And it turns out what he was possibly doing was he was getting these young girls pregnant, forcing them to have abortions, and then using that fetus to get the stem cells from it, to then have the stem cells re-injected back into him to try and make him live longer. Isn't that fucked up? That's one of the most fucked up things I've ever heard. And that's why I kind of brought it up today and stumbled through what he's doing. But yeah, he's raping and abusing young girls, getting them pregnant, using the stem cells from the aborted pregnancies to then inject into himself to try and make himself younger. If you thought Epstein was fucked up, this is what's going on in the world and on these quiet little islands out in the Bahamas and the Caribbean, where no one else is really knowing. Now again, if you look through the pictures, this dude, he's got every celebrity hanging off his arm. It's just glamorous, it's parties, and a lot of people are going to be drawn to this kind of lifestyle. It's fashion, it's billionaire, it's Bahamas. Nygaard is a hard partying retail tycoon. It's the kind of place he's got looks like an emperor's kind of compound. And these allegations kind of all came out sort of towards the end of last year, and it makes Epstein look like a fucking saint. But it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. And have a look into it. The guy's called Peter Nygaard, going through courts at the minute. He's in prison. I wonder if he's not getting all those baby fetus cells. I wonder if he's aging fast. But yeah, that's pretty fucked up, isn't it? That's pretty fucked up. Now, we talked a little bit last week about the Gabby Petito. She's still missing. No, she's not missing. Her boyfriend's still missing. Dog the Bounty Hunter's on his trail, and he's possibly been sighted, possibly maybe found a camp. The parents still aren't talking. It's very strange. Very, very strange. There's not a lot of news coming out. You know, the guy, if he is on the run, he's doing very well. It's difficult being on the run, though. I've been on the run before in my past. It reminded me, actually, because when I got my police record back, the very last time I got given bail, I did a runner, and I didn't come back for a few months, and I found myself, I had plenty of money on me at the time, so it wasn't too difficult to just sort of stay in B&Bs and stay on the move and things, but I remember one time I was in a bar down in St Ives, and it was quite quiet. It was early in the morning. This was a bar that I used to go to just to go and play pool and stuff like this. And it wasn't too touristy. It's just kind of back off the road and things. And I'm sat there with a friend of mine and we're playing pool. And just out of the corner of my eye, I noticed about 15 blokes come in. They're all wearing like jeans and t-shirts and stuff. But it seemed weird. It was almost like a stag party, you know. But they weren't loud or anything. There was just a crowd of men just came in. Carried on playing pool. Didn't really pay attention. And then the barman comes over, because the barman knows that I'm a crook, and my pal's a crook. And he comes over and he just says to me, just a heads up, all those people that came in, they're police. This is a CID day out. It's a Jolly Boys outing for everybody in Devon and Cornwall, CID. And I was like, holy shit. You know, I'm on the run at the moment. My picture has probably been up on the office of the wall of most of these lads. So I quickly put my pool cue down, and I decided I need to go for a piss, and I'm going to get the fuck out of here. So the way that the toilets have worked out, this bar is an upstairs bar, and the toilets are downstairs. So I had to sort of scuddle across the bar, go down some stairs. As I'm going down the stairs, like half of these blokes, they haven't all just gone to the bar. Half of them have gone into the toilets to go for a piss before they fucking start. So, and I'm walking upstairs, and there's like 3 or 4 CID walking past me, and then in the end I look down. And I look, and it's one of the officers who've arrested me the last time, you know, and gave me bail and everything. I looked down, and he looked up, and he even said my name. He was like, "All right, Bonney." And I was like, "Oh, fucking hell." And I go down there, and I'm having a piss, and I'm stood in between 2 coppers that know me as well at the urinal, and they both kind of look over and look at me. Now, in their minds, they must have been weighing up the fact that I'm on the run, but they must have also been thinking that, you know, whatever Jolly Boys outing that they're on is more important than the arresting this little numpty. So I had my piss, and I quickly just ran upstairs, grabbed my mate, and we just got out of there. That was a hairy old moment that time. But being on the run isn't any fun. You absolutely hemorrhage money because you can't lay down any routes, you can't stay anywhere anytime. So you're constantly just buying sort of one-off meals and, you know, paying for 1 or 2 nights in hotels or bed and breakfast and things like this, and staying on the move. Unless you go and stay with friends or something like that, which I did occasionally for sort of a few weeks at a time. But it's no life. And when I got caught, it was actually a bit of a relief to be able to just go and settle down and get it all out of the way. But yeah, being on the run is no fun. So that Brian Laundrie, if they do find him, a lot of America is kind of looking for him at the moment. But yeah, still not been found. So yeah, that's it from me actually. Like I say, I just quickly knotted this one out early hours of Tuesday morning. Like I say, it's going to be a weekly podcast. It's not going to be nailed down to every 7 days, or even just kind of on a particular day or anything like this. But I just want to keep getting something out there. I'm just going to keep getting stuff off my chest. So yeah, next weekend, Saturday to Monday, I'm going to be doing a prison routine. So we'll be exercising, and between 8 and 8, I'm going to have a locked-in routine that I can't deviate from. All right, so I'll let you know how that goes next weekend on the podcast. All right, thank you very much for listening, guys. Cheers now. Bye-bye.